We love Jesus, He loves me. He loves me. I did not I did not know Jesus, He loves me. He loves me. He is for me. Jesus, forgive me. He loves me. He is for me. Some place where mercy reigns, and we're God. There's some place where streams of grace flow deep and wide, where all the love I never found comes like a flood, comes flowing down. At the cross, I surrender my life. I belong you. I belong you. Where your love and mercy wash my, I owe all to you. I owe all to you, Jesus. Where sin and shame are powerless, where my heart has peace with God, in all the love I now. Like a flood comes flowing down. At the cross, I surrender my life. I belong to you. I belong to you. Where love and my sin was mine, I owe all to you. I belong to you. Heal my broken down. Heal my broken down. Heal my down. Heal my down. Heal my broken heart. Heal you save my life. Heal my down. Heal my down. At the cross, I surrender my life. I belong to you. I belong to you. May your love and my sin wash I owe all to you. I owe all to you. I owe all to you. I owe all to you, Jesus. Hear my open now. Hear your glory now. Hear I now. Hear I now. Hear on open mind. Hear you saved my life, Delighter. At the cross, I surrender my life. I did all you, I did all you. For your love and grace, and my sin was white. I owe all to you, 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 Jesus.
Guys, we have Brother David Miller tonight going to be with us. He's the director of mission for Walker Kennedy. Y'all, be with you tonight and bring the word. It's good for me to be back with y'all. John chapter 11, while you're turning there, I'm going to say it's good to be here. I appreciate you inviting Brother Lee to read the Bible this week. Starkeep's going to be praying for him. As he's preaching this week, and be praying for me. Let me just give you 2 or 3 little quick things of these. I'll probably share with you, but July the 15th and the 20th, the Association with Mission Trips in North Carolina. You're invited. The cost is $145. That will feed you from the time you leave to the time you get back home. They'll also work you that whole distance as well. So we're going to be doing construction work at the children's home. We're going to be doing Bible school at O-Team Baptist Church. And we're going to be doing they're doing a church revitalization. And we're going to be trying to help them out. We're going to send some evangelistic teams out every night trying to help that local church get whatever reach their community in. So in the surrounding area. So it's just going to be a great week. And I hope you can come be with us. September the 30th, you'll be doing more about this. We'll have district fellowships. Your entire district will have a night together. All of your churches, that's going to be a night of fellowship. We're planning for next January, having district revivals, and then 2020, we're planning an area-wide crusade for our entire county. Our county is lost. Y'all know that, don't you? Lost, and we're going to be trying to do a campaign, a crusade, try to reach as many as we can. Our target, we can get them back to the local church and then do what the second thing we're going to do, to reach people the gospel, number one, and second, to make disciples of them. We're going to be doing those things across our county in the next few years. Y'all be praying for me. I try to lead in those efforts and be praying for our county as we prepare for all of our churches as we prepare. Having some trouble in the back. Y'all have trouble with lead like this, too. Right?
I don't know.
Static in me?
No, it's just the system.
I'm probably loud enough. You don't have to have a mic on me anyway. Lee might be a lot softer spoken than I am. Probably about that. But I'm going to be a little bit loud anyway. You'll be all right. This passage of Scripture is a passage that I've learned to love the last several months. When I started studying this passage and looking at it and going back through it, I've been through it a bunch of times. And when I read it this time, I began to understand some things I did not understand. And the Lord's been leading me as I've been going to churches. I've been preaching this message all across the county. They laugh and talk about evangelists having just 2 or 3 messages. DOM's maybe the same way. This passage speaks to my heart. And I know it speaks to yours because it reminds us of something that sometimes we forget about. Now, I don't know if you've read before, but in Martha's time, when we read about Martha and Mary in Scripture, I got mad at Martha the last time I read about her when Jesus came to the house to eat dinner. Mary was down at the feet of Jesus, absorbing all his teaching. And Martha was off in the kitchen, seemed like paying no attention to what Jesus had to say. And I got mad at her. You ever been mad at her for that? Probably you do that. If you do that in the Baptist church, it's all right. But in this passage I'm going to read to you tonight, I want to look at Martha in a quite unique and different way. There's just some great things about the life of Martha that we missed the first time we read about Martha. John's Gospel, chapter 11, verses 20 through 24, the scripture says thus, that Martha, as soon as she heard that Jesus was coming, went and met him, and Mary sat still in the house. Then said Martha unto Jesus, Lord, if thou hadst been here, my brother had not died. But I know that even now, whatsoever thou wilt ask of God, God will give it thee. Jesus said unto her, Thy brother shall rise again. Martha said unto him, I know that he shall rise again in the resurrection at the last day. I am, in Jesus, verse 25, go ahead and read that. He said, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. Father, we thank you for the reading of your word. I ask, Lord, you this blessing tonight. By hearing, God, I pray you speak to every heart that's in this room. Lord, I pray that you draw us close to you, Lord, perhaps one in this room on the sound of my voice is not saved. I pray for tonight will be the night they be saved. I pray, God, you just use us. God, and take us and shape us and mold us to what you want to do. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Thank you, may receive. I want to talk about just a few minutes on meeting Jesus where he is. Now, as soon as we read the story, Christ has, when we know that the Lord has went away, as his departure from us endured his return, his absence from us teaches us some great values. Now, in this story, they're waiting the near return of Jesus. But in his absence, they're taught some great truths that they need to understand. And we took an understanding gleaned from what happened. Mary, or Martha of Bethany, Sister Mary, brother to Lazarus. In this story, mostly we speak about Lazarus being raised from the dead. That's a great miracle in itself. But I want you to understand what really goes on in the passage that we often overlook. Mary, she'd been influenced by the presence of Jesus at her house before. But not this time. The reason Jesus is coming to her house this time is quite a different reason. Her brother is dead. I don't need to say this to you. Grace will keep sorrow from your heart, but grace will not keep sorrow from your house. Grace will keep sorrow from your heart, but grace will not keep sorrow from your house. They're encountering the loss of a loved one. I want to ask in this room, all of us have lost loved ones. We know what it is to suffer that loss and that hurt and that void that's there because of the loss of our loved ones. But I understand that even though those difficult moments, the grace of God that surpasses all understanding, the grace of God provides for us in the moments of tribulation and trials and heartache and sorrow in our lives. We've all experienced that as well. I've had a lot of times in preaching funerals, I think, man, how in the world, what in the world am I going to say? It's that had not been for the grace of God, I couldn't say anything. But in this passage today, Mary and Martha are experiencing sorrow in their house. Now look at this passage closely with me. We'll find out some unique things about Martha. The Bible said in verse 20, then Martha, as soon as she heard that Jesus was coming, went to meet him. But Mary sat still in the house. Here it is, very still. She's still sitting down. And Mary misses everything this time while she's sitting. She misses what happens to Martha. She misses the encounter with Jesus this time. The Bible said, as soon as Martha heard he was coming, she went out to meet him. The first thing I want to say about Martha, and I want us to think about her own life, is the eagerness of her faith. The eagerness of her faith. Martha is eager. She went out to meet him. She didn't sit back and wait on Jesus to come to the house. She went out to meet him. Yes, she's heartbroken. She's sorry. Her brother has died. But she goes out to meet Jesus. I want to share with you something. Faith is action. Faith is taking our faith. It's moving. I say Christianity is not a spectator sport. You can't watch it from the bleachers. You just can't. I'm a fanatical baseball fan. I love to watch baseball, whether it's high school baseball, college baseball, or pro baseball. I just like to watch baseball. It's one of the most unique things. I just sit in the bleachers. I'm always let the umpires go to make a bad call, don't you, amen? You let them know. Told a fellow there, I said, man, if you've been sitting up here beside me, you can saw that was a strike where I was sitting there. Called it a ball. I will tell you, faith is not sitting in the bleachers watching the world go by and watching the Christian world do its thing. It's involved in ourselves. The Bible tells us in this story about Martha, she went out to meet Jesus. There's an eagerness in her faith. She left all aside to go meet. You know what she did? I've been in houses when people have passed away, people are mourning and weeping and just sorrowing and quiet, sitting in corners. You've experienced that. You know what Martha does? She leaves all that behind. She leaves the mourners to the mourning. She leaves the broken-hearted family back at the house because her faith is eager and she's going to find Jesus. He's on the way and she's going out to meet him. She heard him say, she runs to meet Jesus. There's an eagerness in her faith. What about your faith? Do you have an eager faith? Or you have faith that just sits in the house? I'm not saying you don't have faith. Mary had faith. She's already proven that before. But Martha's got an eager faith. That is Jesus done a work in her life. There's an eagerness about her faith. When Christ, by His grace, approaches us with mercy and comfort, we should go out to meet Him with faith and hope and prayer. That will be our attitude. Have an eager faith. She went out to meet Him. Many of us, we're waiting to seek Jesus. Seek the Lord will come where we are and do His work. Lord, you know where I'm at? Just come on and you work. Why don't you just do like Dr. Henry Blackaby said, find out what God's doing and get in on it? That's what Martha does. She has an eager faith. She leaves all the mourning, the weeping, the brokenness to go out and meet Jesus. She's eager about her faith. Martha, in all the scripture we read about her, she automatically seems to be kind of active and busy. She's got a little nervous, twitch about it. She wants to be up doing stuff. I told my wife, but she's not here to defend herself, but I've said this, and if y'all take this, y'all just cut this part out. I told her, I said, if you die before I do, I'm going to put a broom in your coffin. That's the sweetest woman I've ever seen in my life. I heard one morning, it's for daylight. It's for daylight. We get out of bed about 5, but one morning, I'm not out of bed, and it's not, the sun's not even shining. I'm hearing something. I get up, I said, what are you doing? She's sleeping. I told her, I said, if you die before I do, I'm talk with you. She loves to sweep. She's just busy. She just can't sit still. Martha is like that. And really, our faith ought to be that same. We want to have an eager faith. Our faith ought to keep us from sitting still when Jesus is around in the area. Our faith ought to keep us from sitting still when there's lost people we can be sharing the gospel with. Our faith ought to keep us moving when there's needs in the community around us, and our church brothers and sisters in Christ who need us. Our faith ought to move us. What a lesson to learn from Martha in the eagerness of her faith in the midst of fasting. She goes out to meet people. Secondly, not only is an eagerness of her faith, there's an earnest of her heart. Verse 21, look at it. It said Martha unto Jesus, Lord, if you'd have been here, my brother had not died. Or if you'd just been here, Lazarus, my brother, would not have died. That's an earnest heart. That's an earnest heart. Lord, if you'd have been here, my brother wouldn't have died. She just told Jesus what was on her heart. And I'll be honest with you, that's exactly what He wants us to do. Just be honest. You always have to, if you're the preacher, you've got to be careful when you ask kids stuff. They'll be honest with you. You can ask some adult, how was that sermon? Pretty good job, preacher. Real good. You ask a little boy, how was that sermon, son? How about that sermon? He said, I guess about 15 minutes too long of what it was. Give us 10. I went in the Bible school room one night when the church I was pastoring and going around visiting the kids, and I walked in, I said, you kids look right here. One of them boy raised his hand over the corner real big, and I said, yeah, but tell me who I am here. He said, you're the preacher here. He's close, and he might have been right. After all, I don't know. Preacher, it's close.
Preacher.
But they'll just be honest with you. You see, there's an earnest in her heart. She's just being honest with Jesus. Sometimes we don't think that we ought to approach the Lord like she does. Lord, if you'd been here, if you'd been at the house, in my house, Lazarus wouldn't have died. You just tell the Lord, an earnest heart. That's what the Lord really wants from us when we talk to Him and approach Him. It's just being earnest with Him. Just have an earnest heart and tell the Lord what's on your heart. Yes. She had an earnest heart. She felt in her heart that Jesus could heal Lazarus, her brother. She really believed that. She understood it in her heart. Verse 24 indicates some great value because Martha said, Jesus says, Lord, Jesus said, verse 23, your brother rise again. Martha said, verse 24, I know he'll rise again for resurrection the last day. Jesus still has an earnest heart. You see, verse 24 indicates her spiritual knowledge. Resurrection is in her belief system. I would say resurrection is in my belief system because it's in the Bible belief system. There's going to be a resurrection of the dead. Jesus is going to come. The Bible says the dead in Christ shall rise first. Some people confuse the place of the Baptist, even to go to heaven first. No, it's the dead in Christ that will rise first. And we that are alive and remain shall be caught up together in a moment. What a time this will be. There's going to be a resurrection. Jesus gave us that one on Easter morning, some 2,000 years ago. The promise of the resurrection. We'll be resurrected. Martha says, Lord, I know there's going to be a resurrection. I trust you, and I believe you. If you'd have been here, you wouldn't have died. If you've been here. If is a particle of conditionality. There are some conditions to the word if. If you had been here, Lazarus would not have died. She believed in the power of Jesus. She believed that Jesus could stop a funeral procession that he had and destroyed the funeral procession because the little boy got up. He went into Jairus' daughter, who was dead, and lay on her and commanded the breath to come in her, and she breathed. He could change that. Martha understood that. But she had an earnest heart. Lord, you've just been right here. She wouldn't have died. An earnest heart. I want to ask you, do you have an earnest heart? Do you have an eager faith? Can you just tell the Lord what's on your heart earnestly and openly? Tell him what's on your heart. If it's all good to do that, just tell the Lord what's on our heart. I'm going to tell you a quick story. I used this in the sermon. Several years ago, I've been pastoring. I pastored up in Winston County for 14 and a half years. And I got my sentence through, and I finally got back to Walker County. I pastored up in Winston County 14 and a half years. In the church I was at a church. Of course, I was a bivocational church, and I was working. I was going to seminary 2 nights a week, driving back and forth to Huntsville to go to class, and then I was give out all the time. And I said, Lord, let me get closer home. Lord, I want to serve you. Lord, open up a door closer home. I was driving about 24 miles, about 24, 26 miles one way to church. Did that 3 times. Every week, Sunday morning, Sunday night, I said, Lord, let me get closer home. I just tell the Lord my heart. Well, I finally resigned there. And I was sending resumes to churches in Walker County. This little church just down the road in Addison called me and said, "Will you come preach?" I said, "Sure, I'll come preach for y'all." I've had to work preach for a few Sundays, and I worked out my notice for that. I wouldn't preach for them. When I preached, they asked me, said, "Would you be interested in being a pastor?" I said, "No, I wouldn't be." I said, "Man, y'all are a fun crowd to preach to, sing well. It's like y'all, they can sing." And man, I said, y'all amen to when I preach. And I said, I love preaching, but I said, I'm just not interested in being your pastor. Well, I went on a few Sundays. They said, "Would you come back this Sunday, this Sunday, this Sunday?" We did several times. And they kept saying to me, "We want to talk to you again about being our pastor." And I said, "No, I don't be pastor in River. What I've been praying." I said, "Lord, get me closer home. Lord, let me get closer home." That was my specific prayer. Lord, let me get closer home than I am right now. Well, one Wednesday on my way home from work, I got home, I told my wife, I said, "I'm going to Sardis tonight, slip in on Wednesday night and see what they do on Wednesday night." Somewhere between my house at Curry and Addison, the Lord got my heart in the right key. Well, when I got to looking at things and did some knowledge count, you know what the Lord answered my prayer very specifically? I asked the Lord to get me closer home. And you know what He did? I literally was 1 mile closer than I was my last time. See what I did next time when I prayed? I said, Lord, and I stayed there for 8 years. When I prayed, I said, Lord, you had the last time. Let me have it this time. Lord, I want to get in Walker County, close to my house. I prayed specifically. The Lord opened that door. But God just wants you to be earnest with Him. Just tell Him your heart. You better be careful. Though I learned my lesson, He didn't answer just what I asked. She had an eagerness in her faith. She had an earnestness in her heart. You know something else about it? She had an enrichment of her hope. She had an enrichment of her hope. She understood that if you ask God, He will give it to you. She had a hope. It was enriched by the facts that she knew Scripture and she believed what Scripture had to say. The enrichment of her hope. Don't you think about what happens? You know what she does in this passage? So you know what ultimately Martha is after? What she really wants to find out and really wants to know is that if Jesus is interested in her faith. Now allow me just for a few minutes to get very personal about my family for a few minutes with you. You don't know my family. I have a wife I've been married to for 35, coming on 36 years, I believe, 35 years, something like that. We've been married. She's been supportive of the ministry. And when I became the director of missions, we made a decision. She goes to our home church, which is Ezra Grove. I'm there on Wednesday nights. I'm the one church member that got to see me about Wednesday. That's all the time I see me. But I'm in church somewhere every Sunday night. But my wife supports. We have a 14-year-old son still at home, and he's involved in the youth group in the church, and she supports him and going to church and not just being able to go around with me everywhere. It's going to be very difficult for a teenager to be able to have to do that. She's been very supportive in the ministry. And I prayed when I started preaching before I got married that I meet somebody that will be interested in the ministry, support me in the ministry. She's been very faithful to that all these years. You don't just share me with the church anymore. She shares me with 65 of y'all. It's fun. It's enjoyable. Sometimes says, where are you going to tonight? And sometimes I'll get her, my daughter will ask me, where are you going, Daddy? And the second question my daughter will ask me is, what are you going to preach? Because if she's heard it before, she ain't going in. But they found out. Mark wanted to know what you were interested in my faith. And I wanted God to answer my prayer, and He did. And God blessed us with 4 children. Let me share quickly the story about the fact that I wanted to know that God was interested in my family. My oldest boy is now 31 years old. He's a executive pastor in a church up in Corbin. He's on staff, and he's got saved and started to serve the Lord. He's always been doing that. I have a daughter. She's a school teacher. My wife has a son-in-law. He's a manager of plant. But my daughter was a teenager when she got saved. She'd been to church all of her life. And she was a church member. She said, Daddy, I'm just not saved. And my daughter got saved. You know what? I'm glad God was interested in my family, because the first time I ever prayed for my oldest son and my daughter was in the delivery room when they were born. Me and my wife prayed right then and there. God, when they reach the age of accountability, save them from their sins. I prayed that prayer 4 times. I wanted to know that Jesus would be interested in my family. That's what Martha wanted. That's her hope. Lord, are you interested in Lazarus? He's dead. Then child number 3 came along. We prayed that prayer for him. And it came from the oldest to the youngest. There's 17 years difference. We decided we never was going to have grandkids, so we just had one wrong. I've been called his grandpa 2 or 3 times, and my wife been called his grandma twice. It's made her mad both times. So if you ever see them two together, they'll be somewhere, ask her if that's her grandson and step back. All right?
Ammunition.
He is great. That's what we do. He is great. But so my two boys, my middle boy, my oldest, my baby boy, were sitting. My baby boy had been with the youth group for revival the night before. Believe it or not, the preacher preached on hell where they went to. And my phone started ringing about midnight. And Mama's calling me, and their little boys, little girls on the conviction. And Mama called me. What I need, I said, pray with them. Tell them how to be saved and pray with them. I said, if you want me to come over there and do it, I will. But I want to make your joy. Kids getting saved in the middle of the night. I picked my boy, I took him the next morning, we got ready to purge to go to school. Next evening, I picked up Cade coming home from school. I said, hey, Cade, I started naming off kids that got saved in the middle of the night. And my baby boy wanted to change the subject real quick. He didn't want to talk about that. And I thought, well, that's kind of odd. Well, I got home, and I had to run back to the store, so my middle boy goes with me. And my baby boy stays at the house. And we come back in the house, Mama and the baby boy sitting at the kitchen table at the bar at the kitchen. He's just streaming tears down his face. He said, Daddy, that preacher preached on hell last night. He said, I don't want to go to hell. Daddy, I'm not saved. I said, son, if you're not saved, you can get saved. But I believe when your tears are streaming down your face and you're admitting I'm not saved, you're under conviction. Amen. The Holy Spirit's doing his work. He prayed to receive Christ right then and there. My middle boy looks at him and says, you know, sometimes I need to do stuff what I'm saying. He's been off in college. He's playing college ball, and he's off on his own, and all of a sudden he says, I don't know if I'm saved. I said, well, son, what do you do when you wonder about, are you saved? But he said, he said, I just prayed that I ain't saved. I want to be saved. I don't go to hell. I said, son, you need to know. The Bible tells us we can know we pass from death to life. We don't have to worry about that. See, I want God to be interested in my thing. My boy, my middle boy, he's 23, he's 24 just in a few days. He called me about 11:30 that night, and often he would do that. He's home from college for the weekend. This is during the Christmas break. Not this Christmas, but Christmas before. He was home. And he called about 11:30. Wouldn't have been unusual for him to call his house and step my buddy's house. He always would visit his high school best friend while he was home from college. And he was over there, and I thought he's calling me to tell me he's going to spend the night. But they called me and he said, Daddy, he said, I just called to tell you that I finally got it right. I got saved tonight. I made it right. I said, son, I'm glad you've done it. I wanted to make sure the same thing, Martha, that Richmond of my hope was that Jesus was interested in my family. And he has to. I just want to remind you about something. I know we all go through struggles sometimes. Things happen in families and it gets difficult. It gets all the water. Sometimes it gets all muddy. But I'm just going to remind you something. Jesus is interested in your family. Every one of them. Your lost kids, your kids that are astray, your kids that are serving faithfully, He's interested in your family. He's interested. He knows your family by name. Martha. The hope, the original of her hope was that Jesus would do something in her family. And isn't that a prayer to pray? God, would you please do something in my family? Okay, I wanted my family saved. I wanted my family's name written in the Lamb's Book of Life. I want to spend eternity with my family. Martha had the enrichment of her hope that Jesus was interested in her family. And Mama used to say, lo and behold, Jesus was interested. Because the story goes and tells us that Jesus goes to the cemetery of old Lazarus and resurrection from the dead. Because he was interested in Martha's family. Proverbs chapter 24, verse 16 says, for a just man falleth 7 times and rises up. We all have hope. We've got hope no matter where our family may be. We still have hope. Let me just remind you of a few things. There's always a time of new beginnings. There's always a time of hope. Every 100 years, there's a new century. Every 365 days, there's a new year. Every 24 hours, there's a new day in which Jeremiah in the Lamentations wrote his compassions were renewed every morning. I'm glad about that. I like that verse. Every 60 minutes is a new hour. We all have the potential of new beginnings. There's always hope. We all have hope. Even after people fail God, they have hope. It closes. I told you I was mad at Martha a long time ago when I read about her cooking dinner, not setting the feet of Jesus. I got mad at her. I thought, Martha, you ought to have been in there where Mary was. The boy went over to Martha now. You know what I found out? Martha had hope. Even after she was failed God, she still had hope. Even after I got mad at her, she still had hope. Adam and Eve, after they had eaten forbidden fruit, they still had hope. There's a blood sacrifice made for them, God. Did he do it some 2,000 years later on the cross of Calvary? Another blood sacrifice, the ultimate blood sacrifice, which we never had to offer all blood sacrifice again. Aren't you glad? Because the Bible says when Jesus gave his life on Calvary, the soldier finished his side. The Bible tells us the veil, not from the bottom to the top, but from the top to the bottom, was ripped. Jesus took the curtain apart where the priest used to go up to offer up sacrifices because there are no more sacrifices. We got the blessed hope. Moses, after he killed the Egyptian, he still had hope. God used him to deliver his children. David, after his adulterous relationship, David still had hope. And even the disciples, after Good Friday, they still had hope. The disciples, I'm just going to go back and do what I know. I'm just going fishing. Oh, that's important. I'm glad that I've got hope beyond me. I've got hope in Christ that no matter what may come, as the song says, my hope is built on nothing but rich in the hope. Lord, we need them. We need an eager faith. We need an earnest heart. We don't have. Oh, never head bow, everybody, for just a moment. If you'll come just a moment, I'm going to ask you to play the song with me in just a moment. You just make your way up here. I want to ask you something. Now, maybe there's been something going on in your life, heads around, eyes closed, all over the house this room. Maybe there's something going on that faith hasn't been quite as easy. You just haven't been earnest with God like you need to be, or maybe you've kind of lost some hope. And you've wondered, what's going to happen? Whatever situation you may be. Like Martha taught us such valuable lessons in this little thing. Maybe tonight you're struggling in some of those areas. I'm not going to come to you, I'm not going to embarrass you. Would you just slip up your hands to Brother David? I need you to pray for me and pray for my family. Would you do that right now? God bless you. God bless you. God knows our heart. Would there be somebody else? God bless you. Father, right now, I'm going to ask you, God, this meet me, God, everyone in the room, God, overstay the way. Well, I pray you to minister to me. Pray, God, that you give me the faith and earnest heart. Enrich their hope of mind and hope you heart and whatever is going on, you're interested. You're interested in it. You may not be right there the moment that we call, like in this story or other stories. But you always show up at the right time. There are always times whenever it is you do whatever it is you're going to do. And your grace is sufficient in those moments in your life. Lord, I pray for everyone who speaks to you tonight. God, may we be encouraged by your word. Heads are bowed, eyes are closed. Should we get some soft play? I want to ask you tonight. Nobody's looking. Maybe you just need to come to this altar. Just slip out of your eyes.